So this video is going to be pretty quick, given just the quality of the picture here. It's not something I want to really put too much time into. Just moved into a new place here, and I haven't been able to set up like a recording place, and I don't even have a table right now. So I'll just use my phone on my bed because that always works. So this is the Alt Hero Q campaign, and as you probably heard if you've watched other channels, and as you may be able to see on the screen here, although I'm not really sure, the Alt Hero Q campaign, which was written or being funded by, or backed, I guess, by Archaven Comics, which is Vox Day's publishing house, it has been removed from the Indiegogo website. This is after the Alt Hero Q campaign had finished up. It had actually been a pretty successful crowdfunding campaign. It had grossed over $100,000. It had Chuck Dixon writing it. I'm in the past. I'm assuming this is going to happen at some point, but there was nothing about Alt Hero Q that was really objectionable. It's obviously sort of based on the QAnon thing, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a 4chan conspiracy theory thing. It's pretty stupid, but people are saying it's like harmful. That's no more than any other conspiracy theory is. I mean, look at the Kennedy assassination theory. I mean, look how much damage that has done to the fabric of the country, and that's still around for 50 plus years later. So I don't really see why the QAnon thing is so much worse. But even though it was sort of based on the QAnon thing, it's not like it was a comic about that. It was just sort of inspired by that idea. It had mainstream writer Chuck Dixon writing it. There was nothing objectionable in its contents, and yet for reasons that are still not clear, it was removed from the website due to a violation of their terms of use, which is always such a nebulous thing, and it's really crappy. Vox Day has said he's going to look into legal action about it. It's pretty scary because this was a successful, comic crowdfunded campaign. That is apparently only being removed because of the writer Vox Day, or because of the owner. There are other possibilities. I saw somebody on Twitter pointing out that when the campaign was live, they had see if it's still here. They were talking about how there was a stretch goal that they were going to have a really good artist doing it, and they posted this image showing this artist's work, and that he drew Batman at some point, and that this Alan Qua guy, who I don't know that name, but that's a really good image of Batman, that this is the person who was going to do a variant cover, and it's possible that there was just simply a copyright claim put on it because they were using a copyrighted image to promote their work, even though they were very clear that this was not appearing in the work. But that seems a little weird to me. It is possible that is the reason, but it seems much more likely that this is the reason. This and an NPR piece that happened a week or two ago. So this Vox Day Altered States of America was posted on Bleeding Cool yesterday by Mark Seifert, October 10th. So I guess 2 days ago by the time this goes live. And it's Vox Day called it the best interview that he had ever been a part of, because the person who was interviewing him actually gave him a fair shake. He had actually looked into quite a bit of Vox's actual writing rather than looking into Vox's, the caricature of Vox that exists. And so Vox Day thought that it was a really good interview. It does not in any way, shape, or form make Vox Day out to be a hero. In point of fact, it kind of makes him look like a fool, because the guy goes quite into a bit of... it goes into a lengthy introduction about what he actually thinks of Vox Day, and then during the actual interview, every single time that Vox Day says something, the interviewer will follow up with a lengthy note about why he doesn't believe that particular thing is correct or valid. So it actually goes to great lengths to try to portray Vox Day as just flat out wrong. but it was the subject of a lot of consternation on left-wing Twitter when it went up. I don't remember what the actual ratio ended up being for this initial tweet announcing it, but it was pretty bad. And as you can see, this is an archive of it, and the reason why it's an archive is because the page just simply does not exist anymore on the Bleeding Cool website. And this is the statement that Bleeding Cool put out where they said that they had made a mistake. They're really, really vague about what the mistake they made actually was. As I said, in the interview itself, they go into quite a bit of detail about why Vox Day, at least why they believe he's wrong and why they believe he just doesn't have much of a leg to stand on. But nevertheless, somehow, just simply talking to Vox Day, just simply giving him any kind of a platform is apparently wrong. So what does this all mean? Well, what this means is that if Indiegogo, in fact, took down the Alt Hero Q campaign because of the backlash to this article and the NPR piece that went live a week or two ago, then that means that Indiegogo is going to start coming down pretty hard on anything that is considered to be part of Vox Day. As I said, there's a lot of ifs in that statement. We don't really know why the Alt Hero Q campaign was taken down after it had been successfully funded, but if that is the reason why, it was basically because of a letter-writing campaign on the part of SJWs to pressure Indiegogo into dropping it. That means that anything even vaguely connected to Vox is now at risk, and guess what? All of Comicsgate is vaguely connected to Vox. Even though Ethan Van Sciver and Richard Meyer have done their best to try to ensure that they didn't let people know that they don't like Vox, they don't like what he stands for. Meyer was always very upfront about that. Diversity in Comics, I remember him talking about that when the original Alt Hero campaign on Freestarter went live, and how he thought that Vox was just a carpetbagger. Ethan Van Sciver, their relationship's a little bit more complicated, but in recent weeks it's become very apparent that Ethan Van Sciver's denounced him, and guess what? It's not going to matter. If their goal is to deplatform all of Comicsgate and anybody that's even vaguely connected to Alt Hero and Vox Day, there's now the precedent to do this. So we'll have to wait and see as the situation unfolds. As I said, there may be information forthcoming that will put an entirely new light on all of this, but it's not terribly likely that that this is going to end well. So, yeah. I just wanted this video to be quick to try to get on top of this and to try to get my perspective out on it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what if you've heard anything differently. Tell me. I think the Bleeding Cool is really, really stupid for doing this. Because this is actually a good interview. It doesn't really, like I said, it does everything it can to make sure that you know that they don't endorse Vox Day. And if they had kept it up, it would have at least showed they had some integrity. But you're not going to get respect from the SJWs, and you're definitely not going to get respect from us for taking it down. So why would you take it down? That's just such a chicken shit move. I can't even believe it. So that's really shitty on their part, and it's really shitty on Indiegogo for apparently giving into this. As I said, barring forthcoming information that may put this whole thing in a different light. But yeah, it's really dumb. So anyway, tell me what you think. Tell me how you see this whole situation. Like, comment, subscribe. In any case, this is Unring Chevron signing off.